Hey guys, what's up and welcome to Love Inspiry Space on the Internet. Ever been in a relationship where you felt used, unappreciated, and ultimately disrespected? I got you covered. In today's podcast, we're going to be talking about how to tell the difference between somebody who wants you and somebody who needs you. Stick around and let's talk love. Okay, hello everyone and welcome to Love Inspiry Podcast. For those who are a little bit confused, I just wanted to clarify that I have rebranded back to Love Inspiry Podcast. It was Dinner Rolls and Relationship Combo, but because my husband won't be able to be on like we would like him to, we just decided to rebrand. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be jumping on by myself from now on. And so we have some versatility in the show. I'm going to be having guests, you know, come on here and there, but mostly you'll hear me going on my little rants, but that's okay. So today we're talking about someone who needs you versus someone who wants you. And so for those who don't know, my name is Angie Rolle. I am the founder of Love Inspiry LLC, and our mission over here is to build more powerful, transparent, and durable relationships. And so this podcast episode came about, obviously you guys know I'm inspired by things that I see and hear on the internet. And so I started Love Inspiry actually for married couples, right? That was my goal, to help married couples overcome their relationship adversity and get over those humps and bumps, because I know what it's like and I know what it takes to conquer all of that. And so that was my goal. But then I got into business and I was finding out that I was only getting booked mostly 98% by single women. And so that changed like the whole trajectory of who I'm serving and what I should be doing and starting out with now. And so what you'll find is in Love Inspiry, the next few of my projects, major projects, my two of my books, and my big project for my online course is going to be geared towards single women. And the reason why is because I feel like I need to start there first. Like I want to be a part of the woman's journey while she's in that dating period, while she gets into that committed stage, and then ultimately leading to marriage, helping her understand the importance of you know, building a foundation and how that, you know, works in your relationship and in your marriage ultimately. So, you know, like I said, the goal is to be there every step of the way with you, but not to forget about my men. This episode is for you as well. I talk with single individuals, men and women, you know, all the time. And we seem to have this thing where men feel used, women feel used and unappreciated. Men feel used because women want sex too and use men for sex too. Women want their money. Men want status, or, you know, it's something that a woman is doing. It works both ways, and it's not necessarily one sex being targeted more. It's just more of the situation and how you are helping this person benefit. Like, what are you doing to get them to where they desire to be and want to be in their lives? And so I really wanted to hover over and talk about this because I actually saw a quote online stating that we have to learn the difference between someone who wants us versus someone who needs us. And so this is episode 37, you need, you want, y'all. So we're gonna get into it and start talking about it. And, you know, like I said, I thought this was important to discuss because so many people are in relationships with a person that needs them as opposed to somebody that wants them. And when we're talking about wanting and needing, wanting something is a choice, right? Whereas needing something is there's no other option. If I'm hungry, right? I love Texas Roadhouse, y'all. I love Texas Roadhouse to death. Like, that's my favorite place. And I always get fried pickles and a Caesar salad with grilled shrimp every single time in their rolls. Every single time, that's all I'm getting there. And a strawberry lemonade. But if I am hungry and I want to go to Texas Roadhouse is like maybe 20-30 minutes away. But if I'm super duper hungry, I have to get what's available. I have to settle, and that's the word here. I have to settle for what's around me or what's in my refrigerator, knowing that I really want this Texas Roadhouse. Like, this is what my soul, my hunger, my stomach is desiring right now. But all I have right now in the house is some chicken and some rice and some broccoli that I have to make because that's available. And that's pretty much what we're talking about right here. And this is the same thing that happens in your relationships. You know, the person that you are with may want someone else, but they're with you because you bring something to the table. You bring some kind of benefit to them. And the benefit could be something sexual. It could be something financial. It could be living arrangements. It could be you are easy to manipulate and control, and a plethora of other things. But you are bringing something to them that's keeping them there. And I want to help individuals determine when you are in a relationship with someone that needs you versus someone who wants you. And it boils down simply to effort. How much effort is this person putting into the relationship? The amount of effort someone puts in is the amount of interest they have in you. And I'm not talking about you as in what you bring to the table, but you as a person, you as an individual, your personality. Like, if someone forgets your birthday, doesn't want to spend time with you, can't acknowledge the good in the relationship about you, they are more likely there because they have to be or because they need to be. And if you really think about it, when someone truly wants to do something, when someone truly wants to be somewhere, they do it and they go there. End of discussion. Like, they're going to find a way, they're going to make a way, they're going to create a way. They're going to do whatever it takes to get what they want done. Like, they're going to do whatever it needs to be done to get what they want. And this is the type of person that you want in your relationship. Someone who wants to truly be there, that's going to put in the effort. And that person is a person that's going to make you feel not only loved, but words that I use in my Connect and Beyond Sex workshop all the time, safe and secure. And it's not just talking about living arrangements, but emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. Like, those safety and security, when we're talking emotionally, is unmatched. Like, there's nothing that, when you feel secure and safe in your relationship, that's something that money can't buy. Like, finances come and go, status comes and go, but when somebody is emotionally available and ready to serve you in ways that not everybody can serve you, that's a dope relationship. So when we're talking about someone who wants you versus somebody who needs you, basically someone who wants you will put that work in, whereas someone who needs you is going to do the bare minimum, if that. They're just going to do what they need to do to make you happy. And I'm air quoting for people on the podcast that can't see me. And here, you know, here's the thing with this. I think women especially, because, you know, and men do this too, but you can feel and see when something is not right. But us as individuals, we tend to act like it's not there. Like, okay, it's going to go away, things are going to get better, when we know deep down in our heart that that's not the case. It's not going to get better. This person truly doesn't want to be here. And like I said, you'll know when somebody doesn't want to be somewhere, because you're going to feel that energy. You're going to feel that, okay, this person is just not emotionally there. And a lot of the times we stick around in certain situations because we want something out of the situation, or we think that it's going to go the way that we want, and that's not always going to be the case. So it's important that we not have blinders on, y'all. This is how you get hurt in your relationships, because you have these blinders on, you know, that are keeping you from making sound decisions and thinking logically about something. Also, someone not giving you the attention you need falls under effort. So attention is very important in a relationship. Not necessarily, well, not all attention to you, but attention to the relationship. How are they nurturing the relationship? If it's really important that we understand nurturing the relationship. And that's why I created the 7 habits to a highly effective couple, of understanding, okay, these are the 7 things that you need to do to nurture your relationship. If you don't have time to nurture your relationship, you don't have time for a relationship. You don't need to be in a relationship. save the excuses. You don't have time to say and a third. No, if you can't nurture your relationship, you don't need to be in one. I don't care what you have going on. Like, life happens, right? You know, we had the biggest thing happen to us in my marriage last year. We had somebody, my husband's mother, pass away, and that brings about a lot of emotions and, you know, just feelings and things of that sort. So it's something that we had to work through together. Like, we had to communicate a little bit better. I had to be a little bit more understanding. I had to put stuff on the back burner. I had to, you know, not make things about me. Like, that's still nurturing the relationship. But moreover, going back to attention, someone not giving you attention could mean that they have mentally checked out on the relationship. Like, this means they have stopped communicating. They stopped asking those important questions every single day. Y'all know I did a video on 2 questions. I think it was 2 or 3 questions you should ask your partner every single day. And this can look like somebody, you walking in the door after a hard day of work and somebody not even caring enough to ask you how your day was, or how did things go, or what's going on, or this, that, and the third. Like, you know, these are questions that you have to ask to show that you are emotionally available, like you are there. And if you have to repeatedly share your feelings or tell your partner something that is bothering you and they do nothing about it, they probably have checked out of the relationship. They're probably there for some other benefit other than nurturing you and nurturing the relationship. And that's a huge problem. Change, and this is the thing, change does not happen overnight, but baby steps do. You can work towards change. You can start doing something now that's going to prompt change in the future. Like, that doesn't, like, you can't just expect somebody or to just snap and then boom, they're changed. No, it's the baby steps. It's a process, and that stuff can happen overnight. You can start doing something, like I said, to get to that point. But the reason why you don't want someone that needs you is because someone that needs you is going to take advantage of you. They're always going to take advantage of you. They will do anything to keep you for their benefit or their gain. Staying with somebody like this will cause you to feel drained. It will cause you emotionally drained. It will cause you to feel unappreciated and insecure within the relationship. And I think it was important that we talked about appreciation, or saying you'll feel unappreciated, because appreciation goes a long way in a relationship. When somebody feels appreciated in their relationship, like, they literally will bend over backwards for you. Like, it really sets the tone for your relationship. That's why I always tell people, like, do something nice for your partner. Be extra. Like, it's okay in your relationship. Like, people probably laugh at me and my husband because we're extra as hell with each other, but we love each other. You know, there's nothing that is it just is what it is. Like, we're us. And, you know, it's okay to be extra in your relationship. Like, show your appreciation to your partner, because that's what's going to keep you guys happy. That's how you build friendship, is by showing your appreciation to each other. So it's very, very, very important that you work on that. I also wanted to make note that just going back to needing and wanting, someone who wants you is the best thing that you want, because someone who wants you wants to be there. They don't have to be, but they want to be there. It's like, I can live without my husband. I can function without him, but I don't want to. And that's a choice that we make, and that's a powerful choice. And when someone wants to be somewhere, when someone wants to be with you, you're gonna feel that, because they are totally invested in the relationship. They are totally invested in communicating. Now, they may not be the best communicator. They may not be you know, the greatest person in the world with, you know, talking about their feelings and stuff, but they're invested in bettering themselves. They're invested in making sure that you feel safe and secure. They're going to ask questions. What can I do differently? How can I make changes and things of that sort? Because they are emotionally available. They want to be there. They're going to do everything they can to make sure that you're happy. They're going to be attentive. And this is the type of person that you want in your relationship. This is the type of person that you should be attracted to, and that you should not seek after in that type of way, but you know, somebody that you should seek after is somebody that's going to be attentive, somebody that's going to show consistency in a relationship. And so, you know the difference now between someone who wants you versus someone who needs you. It's just a matter of effort. Who's putting in that effort to see you? Who's putting in that effort to talk to you? Who's putting in that effort to ask how your day was? Who's putting in that effort to ask what they can do to better themselves for you? Who's putting in that effort to make sure that you feel safe? Who's putting in that effort to make sure that you feel like you can trust them, that there's transparency in the relationship? Effort. That's what it boils down to when you're talking about someone who wants you versus somebody who needs you. Relationships aren't easy, guys. It's a hard thing. Hard, and I kind of use that word loosely, because when you truly love somebody, it's not hard, it's manageable. It's difficult because obviously you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone to work the relationship the proper way, right? You can't go into a relationship and move the same way you moved as you are in single. So it's a challenge, rather than it being, you know, hard. I have a love-hate relationship with that word hard, but it can be a challenge, and that's okay. It's a matter of working through that. But when you want to be somewhere, when you want to be with somebody, it becomes something that is easy to you, and something that you learn to do over time. And I always say this, and I'm going to say this over and over and over and over again: just because you have been in a relationship for X amount of years does not mean that you're done learning your partner. That's it. My anniversary is July 29th, 2021. It'll be 15 years. And let me tell you, I'm so freaking proud of that. You have heard me say that. If you follow me on social media, like, you've heard me say that, because I'm so freaking proud of it, because we put in the work to get ourselves there. Like, we put God first, we trusted one another, we communicated, we talked through our issues, we did the work, and we're still doing the work. We're still learning each other to this very day. And you're always going to be, if you're doing relationships the right way, you're always going to be learning your partner, and that's okay. That's nothing to be ashamed of. I learn something new every day because I'm totally invested in my husband. I want to be here. I want our relationship to thrive. And I had just recently did a live where I was talking about the 3 ways to maximize your love life, and those are things that I have learned over time. And the only way that I was able to maximize and elevate, or we were only able to maximize and elevate our relationship, is because we wanted to be here. We wanted to be around each other. And the work that was done, well, that was building our foundation. That was building upon trust. That was being transparent and open with one another, even when it was hard, even when it was difficult. And we've had to share some difficult things with each other. We've had to get over some difficult hills, very difficult, you know, where you needed, almost about to fall out type hills, you know, but we got over that. And so I want to talk about ways to prevent being needed and not wanted in your relationship, because I think it's important that we talk about prevention methods. And it's something that I've told y'all a million gazillion times, but it's something that I don't see a lot of women that I talk to or anybody that books me. This is the #1 problem people have, is setting boundaries. You have to set your boundaries, and not only that, most importantly, you have to keep those boundaries. And it's important that you set those boundaries up in your dating period, because let me tell you something, what you start out doing when you get married, you better expect to continue to do that, period. Okay? If you can't finish it, don't start it. And I know that's so cliche to say, because all the old people tell you that, and that's something that was told to me when I got married. And I'm like, please, I got this. I know what I'm doing. Like, yeah, what are y'all talking about? Y'all don't, you know, like, I got this. You know, when you're 18, you think you're grown and you think you know everything. And that was me. Yeah, I admit that was me. But I found out it to be so true. If you don't want to do that 10 years down the line, don't start it now, okay? But that's why it's so important to make sure that you set those boundaries in your relationship, and then make sure you keep those boundaries. If you say you are going to do something, do it. Because what happens is when you do the opposite, people are going to think they can play with you. Now you become a need versus a want, because now I can manipulate this person, right? I can get him or her to do as I want. I can control them a little bit because you have shown me that you're really not that serious about your boundaries anyway. And that's why relationships are failing. And that's just really what it is. Okay, so make sure you guys are setting your boundaries. It's so very important, not just setting them but keeping them. Also, make sure you aren't doing too much too soon. If you find yourself doing more for your partner than they are doing for you, and I'm not talking about like keeping tabs on them or, you know, running a tally of, oh, I did this, you did that. And you know what, total transparent moment, years and years ago, I was with my husband and I sacrificed a lot to just to be with him, because I wanted to be here. I didn't need to be, I wanted to be here. So I sacrificed a lot. But what I found out was when I thought that I was going to have my way, I thought I was going to be able to do the things that I wanted to do in the time frame that I wanted to do it. Now, I've done everything that I wanted to do, but I just didn't get it done in the time frame, which is, you know, immature problem, whatever. So as I was journeying through this, I remember it was 2009, 2010, and I was pissed. And I'm sitting up here like, I did this, and this for you, And I'm like, wait a minute, like, did you do it to throw it back up in his face, or did you do it because that's what you really wanted to do? And I had to realize, you know, for me, I was saying that stuff out of anger. I didn't really mean it to throw it back up in his face. But don't tally stuff up. Like, don't do that stuff, mark stuff up as, you know, I did this and I did that for you, because that creates a problem in the other person's head of, why did you do it then? Did you do it to have a one-up on me so you can get your way in the past? But a lot of the stuff that I experienced in my marriage was because I was young and dumb. I did not understand concepts. I did not understand the composition of relationships. I just didn't understand at all. And, you know, like I said, I'm really proud to be in this space. God enabled us to be in this space that we're in now, because it was a lot mentally, not anything necessarily that he did to me, but it was just a lot mentally going wrong in my head of things, my distorted view on a lot of things. And I'm sure he had his moments where he was, you know, his views were distorted as well. I'm sure he can, you know, tell you that one day as well. But, you know, it was a lot. And going back to talking about making sure you aren't doing too much too soon, just understand that, because I kind of got sidetracked on that, but I just want to say, don't do so much, but also don't tally up what you're doing as well. There's a fine line between that, and in the course I'll talk about that, a little bit about that. But, you know, you have to be able to give in your relationship. And I talked with this to another young lady about not giving so much of yourself in the relationship, because what happens is that ends up draining you when you find out that this is not the person and they're not giving anything back. And that's why people think, oh, this relationship is not going to work, or this, that, and the third. And no, sometimes we have to change up what we're doing to get the results that we want. It's not always going to be other people but us, and not us in a negative way, but us in a, okay, how can I change this for the good? How can I make this situation better? So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that and give you 2 ways. Just make sure that you're keeping your boundaries so people know that they can't play with you, and then also make sure that you aren't doing too much with somebody too soon. And I'll break this down, what you should be doing in each dating period, or in the dating relationship process. Like, you have that dating period, then you have that committed relationship, what you should be doing and what you can give, what you should be talking about and opening up to in each stage and each portion of that. Because I think it's important for us to decipher that, understand that, so we can start building more powerful, transparent, and durable relationships, y'all. That's what it's all about. But yeah, shameless plug, I know. But yeah, so I just wanted to hop on real quick and share my thoughts on that. Just make sure that when you are, you know, dating somebody, you are watching the signs. And I say this all the time, like, to find the right person, it starts with you and understanding exactly what you are looking for. Like, most women really can't tell you exactly what they're looking for. They really have a hard time of identifying okay, what do I want out of a man? You know, me, I'll rattle it off. Like, I want a Christian, I want somebody that's loyal, and I want somebody that I can be friends with. Period. Those are the 3 things that's important to me. I need you to want to go to church with me. Got that. I need you to be loyal. Got that. And I need a best friend. Got that as well. But like I said, that took time to get there. We didn't just jump right into a relationship, even though we had known each other all our lives. Like, that's not what we did. We took our time. And that's why I always encourage people in sharing my story of saying, listen, you gotta work the stages. You gotta work up to this thing. A lot of people that are in relationships are not in relationships because they want to be. It's because they're saving face, or because they need to be there for whatever reason. And I don't want anybody to have to go through that, because that's what makes you unhappy. That's what makes you unsatisfied in a relationship. And I don't want anybody like going through that particular it's just why be in a relationship? Like, you could legit be sad and depressed by yourself. Like, why do that with, you know, in a relationship, when you can actually be with somebody that is truly designed for you and meant for you. So I'm going to end there. For single women, this is, I know I have some men that listen to the show. Shout out to y'all. Thank you so much for the support. But this particular project that I'm getting ready to talk about is for women. So I have a course coming out. Again, my 2 books, I haven't discussed the titles or given out the titles for the books yet, but my next 2 books are really gearing towards getting people, getting single Christian women in that set up in the right manner. But the course that's coming out soon is for single women, and it's going to help you with yourself. So we talk about everything about the self and preparing you for that particular relationship and getting in the relationship that you desire. So I have a link. You can get on the wait list, and then you can also, when you sign up to be on the wait list, you will get a document sharing what's in the course. And when the course comes out, you will also get 50% off that course just for being on the mailing list. So that's just my thank you of taking the time out to join the fam, be a part of the fam, you know. So yeah, get on that if you desire. I'm not forcing anybody to do it. If you're interested and you want to know what's going on, sure, I am happy to help. Also, don't forget, we have services as well. Feel free to book a service with me. Probably September. I will not be taking any phone calls. It'll just be August, and possibly the beginning of October I won't be taking any phone calls as well, because I have to get our calendars and our notebooks ready for 2022. So I'll be working on that project as well. But don't forget, we have 10% off our whole site, www.loveinspiry.com. I don't know why I just had a brain fart with that, but we have 10% off with that. That's going to be expiring July 31st at 11:59 p.m. so check that out as well. I thank you guys for tuning in with me and riding out with me during this episode. Just stay vigilant when you're dating. Stay vigilant when you are getting involved with somebody. Don't ignore those signs. You know, sometimes we can read too much into stuff, and then sometimes we could just flat out not be reading at all, and reading is fundamental. So focus on those signs, and, you know, keep an eye out. You know, also too, you know, you can look at signs and say, okay, I'm going to give this a pass. But if you decide to give that relationship a pass, or give that situation a pass, you know, don't get upset when it comes back around because that person showed you who they were and you just decided to let it go. So, you know, keep that in mind. Relationships can be complicated, but if we get educated and we start taking them seriously, we can start, you know, really having some healthy relationships. So guys, I just want to thank you all again for tuning in to the podcast, the Love Inspiry Podcast. I'm not going to just tell you what episode we're going to do next week or in 2 weeks or whatever the case may be, but because I just don't know. Sometimes I want to talk about something else. I have something scheduled, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta get this off my chest. So I'm just not gonna say that right now. But tune in with us in a couple of weeks as we talk about something: relationship, marriage, hope, love, all that jazz. All right guys, I'll see you all in the next one.